I know you're tired from a long day of work. Come on man, get up. You can do this. To get in shape on a tight time budget, you can do that with a minimalistic approach, and you can even go into elite shape without a coach. To do that, you however have to understand the basics. Of course, you can do different type of sports activities, but fundamentally it's about doing basic exercise. Now you can divide this into anaerobic exercise and aerobic exercise. Now aerobic exercise is cardio, but if you want a simple approach to that, then we want to focus on anaerobic training and hypertrophy training. Hypertrophy training you might have heard of is that you stimulate the muscle by training it, for instance going to the gym, doing a lot of lifts, doing a lot of bench presses, getting larger muscles, but it's actually not during the training session that the muscles get larger. During the training sessions, you will get micro tears in the muscle fiber. This is called hormesis. The training will stimulate an anabolic window, something called a protein synthesis. As the muscle fibers have been torn apart, that's actually when the muscles start to rebuild themselves stronger thanks to the protein synthesis. So sleep and protein synthesis is the key here. That's why you want to get sleep and adequate amounts of protein, as that way you will become stronger. Now the easiest way to stimulate hypertrophy is, in my opinion, calisthenics, because you can do it anywhere. You can do it in a park, you can do it at home, or on a work trip, in a hotel, or even on vacation. To systemize this, check the program below and check the video at the end of this one where we go through work volume, sets and reps, how many times you should work out per week. Now whether or not you check the program out or the video, it's about focusing on the basics. And here you want to do progressive overload. Basically you start from 10 push-ups and then you want to work yourself up to say 20 or 30 push-ups. So here you are increasing the volume through more repetitions, or if you do with weights, then you would add more weights. But here we want to focus on the calisthenics, right, without the weights. So it's really important to stimulate through more volume, more reps, but beyond a certain threshold, you actually want to move to more demanding exercises. So for instance, if you've done the basics right, basic push-ups, pull-ups, then you can move to unilateral exercises, one-arm push-ups, one-arm pull-ups. Or if you've done, for instance, pike push-ups, then you can move into a more vertical position doing handstand push-ups. First you start with assisted ones against the wall, then you can do without the wall. It's you against the gravity, and that's the key here. And in order to progress rightly, to know that are you actually doing this well with proper technique, remember quality before quantity. One good key is to film yourself like I'm filming now with the iPhone here. Grab out your smartphone and film yourself training, review your technique, see the progression. This can also function as a great motivator to see that you're actually progressing. Of course, if you're slacking off, you will also see that. But it's really key to make sure that you are your own coach here. You have to stay motivated by you checking out your own technique, your own videos. When you learn these basics on the technique and also that you review your own performance, then you can push yourself to the next level. Of course, you can get a great coach, but I think it's even more powerful to understand the basics that they can push you so far. For instance, Crow Cup, a UFC fighter, he actually started to train on his own when he watched Bloodsport by Jean-Claude Van Damme in the 90s. He became so inspired by this type of training that he actually watched a lot of videos from these fighting movies, and then he started to train kickboxing on his own in his parents' garage. He also used his father's boxing equipment and a lot of weights. And with the foundation on training on his own, he has made it as far as into the UFC with some pretty amazing highlights. So today we have the luxury of the internet, but of course you have to find channels that actually give you value versus just some noise. The mindset of training on your own can build the basics of you getting in shape, but I would argue you can go so far, like in the case of Crow Cup. So you probably heard about the 10,000 hour rule. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or at an advanced level, it's good to know that your mind can be the one that will assess your progress, or it can be the limiting factor. But you have to pick something that you want to focus on and then put in the hours. Now you probably shouldn't pick something that you don't enjoy. Now how do you know what you should pick? Well, now use the mindset of the successful Silicon Valley entrepreneur Naval Ravikant, who says that pick something that feels like play to you but looks like hard work to others. If you really want to discover who you are, go back and really review who were you as a kid. So there's some self-discovery here that you have to do in order to pick something that you can truly excel at. Once you narrowed it down, then you can start to put in the 10,000 hours. To me, this took a few decades to figure this one out, and it was actually by accident that I found this old picture of me standing on our terrace at 15 years of age. There are these beams above me that I remember that, hey, I was pretty good at hanging from this. I could do that up to 10 minutes. So a year ago, at the age of 33, I started to think that I should start to train basic calisthenics more seriously. And I found myself to really enjoy this. I felt like the harder the workouts were, the more excited I got. And also it's really healthy, it doesn't take too much, meaning I won't have any excuse on not to become world class at it. So being an average guy and somewhat a dreamer, I remembered my MMA coach from Montreal, Canada, Firas Sahabi, who says that today's society really makes us weak by thinking that we should be average. You can become world class. The only factor that can stop you is your mind and you putting in the 10,000 hours. Now this is similar to the mindset of the Finnish performance coach and Dr. Aki Hintsa, whose book I read this summer, and he talks about elite performance and well-being coming from success and success coming from well-being. He worked with a lot of African athletes from Ethiopia, and he discovered that Ethiopians outperformed peer competitors on Olympic level, even though some of them had full-time jobs and very primitive training equipment. And one of their predecessors even ran barefoot, winning the Olympic gold. Now, Dr. Aki Hintsa reasoned is that their fitness regime supported their everyday life, and they were very happy with their life despite having very primitive training gear. Now, whether or not you have big goals, want to get started, I really like this humble mindset of Hintsa and the Ethiopians of a fitness regime that supports your everyday life, and especially that the sky is the limit, even though you don't have a lot of time or some fancy training equipment. So when you do this self-discovery, you will find out what kind of training you want to push towards, and whether or not that's exercise or some specific sport. I think another good example is skateboarding. If you think about skateboarding, all skateboarders are self-learners and the elite ones are efficient self-learners. I would say that one of my great inspirations today is one of my great friends who is a successful entrepreneur. I talked to him about getting in shape and doing calisthenics. He said that he's gonna start to skateboard like when he was a kid. He's my age. He really loves it and is truly obsessed with it. You know, having a good time and becoming ridiculously good at it and also becoming in better shape. And that's why you should do this self-discovery. If you don't like calisthenics, you don't have to do it. Again, try to go back to when you were a kid. What did you excel at? What kind of talents did you have in sports? And start putting in the hours, go to the basic level and go beyond. Key takeaways. Start with the basics, understand what you want to do and understand that you can go as far as you want to. Start doing the basic push-ups, pull-ups, whatever sport you want to do. Eat more protein, get enough sleep, 8 hours per night. Even walking is one step in the right direction. That's why, in addition to checking this video out on how to program your calisthenics program, also check this video out on walking daily 10,000 steps. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.